everybody, it's Emily here from Life Enrichment, here to do another trivia video with you all today. So I don't know if you watched the first one that we had a couple days ago, but this is going to be round 2. So if you watched the first one, we're going to give the answers from the questions we had before, and then we're going to do a whole new set of questions. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so like I said, first we're going to go through our answers from a couple days ago, our first trivia video. The first question was, in ancient Greece, what would you throw at someone to propose marriage? And the answer was an apple. So if a man was interested in a woman, he would take an apple and throw it at her. And if she caught it, that means that she was accepting his proposal. So that's an interesting history fact. Alright, so then question number 2 was our music question, and the question was, what band did Ringo Starr leave in order to join the Beatles? And this was something I didn't know, and the answer is Rory Storm and the Hurricanes. I had never heard of this band before, but apparently that was the band that Ringo Starr was in before he decided to join the Beatles. Alright. Our next question was our science question, and the question was, which 2 elements on the periodic table are liquid at room temperature? And the answer is bromine and mercury. Alright. Our next question was, which female has won the most Academy Awards? And what was interesting about this is it's not Katharine Hepburn, who has won the most acting awards. She had won 4 Academy Awards for acting. The answer was actually a woman named Edith Head. Edith Head. She won 8 Academy Awards for costume design, and she actually inspired the character of Edna Mode in the movie The Incredibles, the Disney Pixar film, which is something I found really interesting. Our next question was an animal question, and the question was, which mammal has the longest gestation period? And the answer was elephant. An elephant's gestation period is usually around 1.5 years, so quite a long gestation period. Alright, so we'll go on to question 6. Question 6 was, what is the tallest mountain in the Western Hemisphere? The tallest mountain in the world is Mount Everest, but the tallest mountain in the Western Hemisphere is, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Aconcagua, and that is a mountain in Argentina. It's a little over 20,000 feet tall. The next question was, what is the best-selling novel of all time? This was our literature question. Most people probably know that the best-selling book of all time is the Bible, but the best-selling novel of all time is actually Don Quixote. If you've ever seen or heard the musical The Man of La Mancha, that is a musical based on the story of Don Quixote. Alright, our next question was, who pitched the only no-hit game in World Series history? The name of the pitcher is Don Larson, and he was a pitcher for the New York Yankees. Alright, and our next question was a television question. Which product was featured in the very first TV advertisement? It was in the year 1941, and the answer was the Bulova watch. It was the first commercial to ever be broadcast. It was broadcast in the state of New York, and it was for the Bulova watch. Alright, and our very last question was, which now classic Disney character did Walt himself portray in a school play? And the answer is Peter Pan. I'm sure you know the story was from the author varies, and it eventually became, the movie that it is today. So those were our questions from last time. Maybe you got some right. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear some input about the questions that I've asked so far. But we're going to get into the next round of questions. So if you'd like to participate, if you'd like to play along, I'll give you a couple minutes or so to get a pen, some paper, or a pencil, whichever you're more comfortable with. I'll give you a little bit of time to find that. a pen and paper? If not, and you're still looking for one, I'm going to go through all the questions at the end, so if you miss a couple, you'll get another chance to figure out what they are. So we're going to start with a history question. This question is, which German physicist is known as the father of quantum physics? Which German physicist is known as the father of quantum physics? And I'll give you a minute to think about one. Alright, let's move on to our next question. Our next question is a music question. The question is, who joined Paul McCartney on the song Say, Say, Say? So which musical artist teamed up with the legendary Paul McCartney on the song Say, Say, Say? And I'll give you a minute to think about one. Alright, let's move on to our next question. Our next question is a science question. The question is, of what is helminthology the study of? The study. Of what is helminthology the study? So, I've never heard of this term before, but it's a pretty interesting one. So if you know what helminthology is, I'll give you a minute to write that down. Alright, let's go on to our next question. Our next question is a film question. The question is, which Bette Davis film includes the line, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy night"? Which Bette Davis film features the line, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy night"? And I'll give you a minute to think of that one. Alright, let's move on to our next question. Our next question is an animal question. The question is, which bird lays only one egg each year? which bird lays only one egg a year? There are a couple birds, I believe, that lay 2 eggs a year, but there's a bird that only lays 1 egg a year. And I'll give you a minute to think of that one. All right, we're going to move on to our next question. It is a geography question. And the question is, which river runs through the city of Vienna? Which river runs through the city of Vienna? I'll give you a minute to think of that one. We're going to move on to our next question, which is a literature question. The question is, which Shakespeare play, or Shakespearean play, inspired the classic 1950s sci-fi film, Forbidden Planets? Now, I've never seen this film, so I wasn't sure which Shakespeare play, but I'm a big fan of Shakespeare, so which Shakespeare play inspired the classic 1950s sci-fi film, Forbidden Planets? I'll give you a minute to think of that one. We're going to move on to our next question, which is a sports question. In which sport do teams from all around the world compete in the Thomas Cup? The Thomas Cup. Which sport do teams from all around the world compete in the Thomas Cup? I'll give you a minute to think of that one. right, we're going to move on to our next question, which is a television question. And the question is, on the TV show Dallas, who shot JR? On the TV show Dallas, who shot JR? I know that was a big whodunit storyline in television history, so perhaps you know the answer. I'm sure many of you do. So who shot JR? I'll give you a minute to write that one down. Go on to our last question. Our last question here is a Disney question. Had to throw in one of them. The question is, what was the last film that Walt Disney personally supervised? Obviously, he worked on many films in the span of his career, but what was the last film that he personally worked on before his death? Last film ever touched by the hands of the magical man himself. I'll give you a minute to think of that one. Hopefully you got all the answers. If not, maybe you have some time to figure them out. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go through all of the questions again, just in case you missed any or you need a refresher on what they were. Let's go through them. I'm going to split them out for you. All right, so let's start with question 1, which is our history question. And the question was, who is known as the father of quantum physics? It's a German physicist who is known as the father of quantum physics. Question 2 was our music question. And the question was, who sang with Paul McCartney on the song Say, Say, Say? Very famous musician who worked with Paul McCartney on the song Say, Say, Say. Question number 3 was our science question. And the question was, what is helminthology? It's the study of what? Helminthology. Our next question is a movie question. And the question is, which Bette Davis film has the line, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy night"? A Bette Davis film. I know there's many to choose from. Our next question is our animal question. And the question is, which bird lays only one egg a year? Which bird lays only one egg a year? All right, let's go on to our next set of questions. All right, question number 6 is our geography question. And the question is, which river runs through the city of Vienna? Which river runs through Vienna? Our next question is our literature question, and it's which Shakespearean play inspired the film Forbidden Planets? The sci-fi 1950s film Forbidden Planets is based on which Shakespearean play? Okay, our next question is our sports question, and it is about the Thomas Cup. People compete at the Thomas Cup in which sport? Which sport do people compete in the Thomas Cup? Okay, our next question is our television question. And the question is, who shot JR? On the television show Dallas, who was discovered to have shot the character JR? And our last question, it's our Disney question, and it is, what was Walt Disney's last film? The last film that Walt Disney ever worked on. Which was it? All right, hopefully you've had time to review the questions. We're going to go to our last slide here, which is how you can play the game. So, if you have all your trivia questions, even if you don't have all of them and still want to play along, send your answers to Sperry Cecilia, that's my boss, Cece, at windsor@celebration.com. So you see it right here, Sperry Cecilia at windsor@celebration.com. Make sure you put in the subject line, Trivia with Emily. That way she can, look out for it, see it there, and know who submitted their answers. And the first person to submit all the correct answers will win a prize. It's a mystery prize, so I can't tell you what it is, but I'm sure it'll be great. So thank you so much for playing along. Hopefully you had a fun time. Even if you don't want to play and submit your answers, hopefully you still got some enjoyment out of this. And the next video you see of me doing trivia, I will give you the answers from this video. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.